you recognize this beat? If you do, you may be a long-term listener of Father Moose, in which case, welcome back. Welcome to the church. It's a big church. Okay, we've started a new playlist on the channel. So what's going on here? Let's just do a little introduction before we get started. I have currently reached about patch 64 in the Nord Micro Modular stream, and those streams will still be coming. They will not be stopping. They'll just be interspersed with other content, and some of the content that you're going to see is going to be this. It's what I'm basically going to do is go through the existing patches that were made. First, today I'm going to listen to them semi-objectively and decide which ones I want to use on the album. And after I've done that, I'm going to dub them down, by which I mean I'm going to hit record on a digital recording device and then interact with the patch for somewhere between 2 and 8 minutes, as long as it's musically interesting. And once that recording is completed, I'm going to add overdubs of synthesizers, maybe percussion, maybe field recordings, maybe hardware modular, and other sounds. And I'm going to try and reveal as much of this process as I can on the channel using my style, which you've heard before, the mixing of the sound generation modules on screen, and my voiceover hopefully explaining what I'm doing. So, as I said, the first step is to go through what we've made and decide whether it's going to be practical for use in the album or not. This is a different... Nothing we made in the stream was bad. I mean, you may not have liked some of the patches, and that's totally your prerogative, and I don't love some of them either. But everything we did was useful. Everything was instructional. Everything had a reason. But what has a reason in programming may not always have a justifiable reason musically in a recording, and that's just fine. A good example might be the Living Grass patch, which I find a fascinating patch to build and to explain. But will it get used in the album? I'm honestly not sure, although I have used it for live performances before. It doesn't necessarily mean I want to use it in this album. So, I'm not sure how long it's going to take to go through 64 patches. I'm basically going to reload them now, so this is a little trip down memory lane, or you can, if you want to see this as another Moo Radio, other people's patches type of thing, you can look at it from that point of view. I'm going to make some notes in an Excel file, and which I will revisit when it comes time to dub down the patches that get approved. So without further ado, let's start. You've heard this one before so many times. Such a simple, boring little... it's almost like the Pornhub drum theme, but for this channel. So... I'm not going to retype the name of every patch, but I've organized them by number. And my second category here is usability. So I think I'm just going to divide usability into yes, maybe, and no. And in the content is somewhat more practical. For this one, I'm going to write... extremely simple drum pattern, no melody. That's a good analysis of what we have here. And I put the usability as maybe, which is true. Okay, let's go on to the next patch. Oh, this is sort of a repeat of the previous one, because I think my first stream was Twitch only, and this one is the first one that was YouTube only. So this is named Drum and Rant. Kind of a similar thing, though. I should point out that there's a lot of reverb on the Nord Modular right now just because it makes it more listenable. I like to keep this channel something that won't hurt people's ears. I'm not sure that all this reverb will be identical in the final recordings. So I just went away from my own rules there. I said I was going to say yes, maybe, or no in usability. I think I'm adding unlikely and likely to those categories. And again, the content evaluation is more useful to me, or at least it's more descriptive. So let's try patch 3. SignCloud Techno. Okay. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think I've already decided that techno is not really the direction I want to go on this album. No offense to the classics. In fact, I'm thinking in the future of doing something techno themed, but this is not it. So yeah, sorry for that patch. Here we go. Now we're getting more up my alley here. Now we're getting a little bit harder to describe. I mean, the patch has a name. I do think it's likely this will get used, though, so I'm going to put likely. And how to describe it. So I call that generative melody with dusty percussion. Here, dusty means, well, you can hear it, right? Yeah, I think that's descriptive enough. This is not I'm not a professional music critic. Whoa, we got a little volume spike there. Nintendoscape, I remember this. I don't have a problem with this patch, but I think it's unlikely it will get used. Although I can maybe see it as like a transition between parts. Like it's not exactly a song, but it's something that might appear in between other sequences. So I put down maybe, yeah. Let's keep diving in here. Oh, I remember this one. Okay. This one wants to get played off of a keyboard, which... you know what? I can already tell this is not really gonna cut it. In fact, the keyboard ones are not likely to get used. This is another one which was evolving keyboard patch is how I'm going to describe it. It's another one that was useful for the development of the stream. Okay, I guess I'll just play it briefly. But I don't expect a lot of the keyboard-based creations to get used in the album, and especially this one was more of a demonstration of ways of making weirdness, and it was practical. So I think this also applies to the next one. Oops, I went the wrong way. Yep, same kind of thing. This is another evolving keyboard patch. I'm just going to copy the comments here. It is the same comment. So let's keep going here. Okay, keep saying no a lot, but again, this one is techno, so it has a place. It's just that this album is not that place. Okay, here we go. back to this one, I'm not loving the cymbal as much as before. But I think the melody could have a place. So for this one, I just wrote irregular melody and dial down cymbal as sort of advice to myself in the future, how to fix it and make it more usable for the album. Here comes this guy. This one is a clear yes from me, dog. I like this one because it's the right tempo for what I'm going for. It's that interesting bass line that I have said in the stream before. I like it when I come back to it. And I also like what the percussion is doing, the way it's kind of understated. It is generative, but in a way that doesn't overwhelm things with craziness. So definitely a yes here. Okay, I think we don't need this guy. It was a funny joke. Let's just do this. Okay, this patch. Yeah, this is me trying to be, what's that band called? Pansonic. I can see a use for this one. I'm going to put this as likely. So I'm just trying to be honest with the content stuff here. I'm speaking to myself or my future self as a reminder. So I just put down Pansonic imitation. That is how I see it in my mind. I don't think it's a ripoff of them. I think it's original enough to make it into the album, but I'm just sort of reminding myself for the future what it is. Notice that I said I don't really want to go in a techno direction, and techno is probably going to be 120 to 128 BPM. This one is closer to 80, and I think since this is more of a Berlin school or ambient album, the tempos will be at a max around 90. At a low, they could be very, very low. Yeah, I remember this one too. So I do think this one is pretty likely. I like the melody here. The percussion is simple, but it's working. And again, I've described this as Berlin School loop. Berlin School is a definition, but the loop is the fact that it's the same every time. If it was different every time, I might describe it as generative or irregular. But loop just means it's kind of a repeating pattern. And that's what it is. It is what it is. Okay, this is going good. Let's keep going. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah. Okay. Just going with my gut here. I have a feeling this is unlikely to make it into the final one. It's just that it's a cool experiment, and I still like listening to it almost by itself. Well, I didn't rule it out as a no. I just put it as unlikely. So I think that's a fair evaluation for now. Let's keep rolling. Oh, this guy. As most people know, I really, really like this patch a lot. So I've described this as tempo sequence, not melodic. The tempo feel of this one is something that I like about it. I say it's not melodic. I mean, it has some pitch notes, but it's not a song in the sense that the other pieces are. I think I'm going to add the words tempo sequence, not melodic. Nice amber. Amber is one of the Moo code words for ambient. You can use both, but we like to use that one. So yeah, Templescape's definitely going to be in there. Oh, I know what to add to myself. Add hardware delay. As you might have seen in one of our previous streams, this one sounds really cool through the microcosm. So yeah, we're going to repeat that. Okay, I know this guy. So I've just described this as aggressive Game Boy sequence, and it is. This one got a lot of views, so I guess people kind of liked it, and I remember seeing some positive comments. Maybe it's just the weirdness of the digitizers in this one, but aesthetically it doesn't really match with the patch type that I'm going for. So I'm going to leave him off. No, this is quite the opposite. This is exactly what we're going for. And I'm going to repeat my comment. I just call this Berlin School Loop, which is exactly what it is. This one I can tell is probably going to need some serious work in the dubbing area to make it have more variation, but it doesn't matter. It's a starting point, and I dig it, and this is the style I'm going for. Notice that the tempo is as low as 66 BPM, but the synths and the drums are all in the area that we're going for. It's funny how similar this one sounds to the last one. Maybe I was just in a certain place mentally. So I just wrote the note, could build directly from previous. Maybe I'll dial the tempo down. This one is at 76. The last guy was at 66. We'll see how it goes. I remember this weirdo. This is one of the ones where I feel that patch naming really failed it. Because I don't hear much Game Boy or C64 type sounds here, really. It's a nice kick drum, though. Actually, is it two kick drums? Yeah. I can't remember. Anyway, probably a yes from me on this one. So I call this one Berlin School, but more drum heavy. I don't think I ever said it in this stream, so I'll say it now. If techno is what we're not doing, then Berlin School plus ambient is what we are doing. So I remember this one, the Tom Tom Experiment. It's not bad, but it's not great. So I just wrote toms only, needs melody or use as interlude, which I think is a good way of looking at it. I think at the speed we're going, if we have 64 patches, I'm going to stop at 32 in this stream and then do the rest in another, just to give you a break. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one definitely has a place. So I wrote pattern with no drums might be an intro. It just kind of feels like that first hit chord just feels like we're setting up the beginning of a track. So yeah. Okay, I think we can skip this guy. This was me making mainstream drums. Although that had a function, the function wasn't necessarily part of this album. And here's his variation, IDM strums. It's going to put the same note, drum demonstration. Need a little more space in the Excel file here. Do I seem like a nerd planning my album in an Excel file? Maybe. I usually I would make multiple recordings on my hardware recorder, and then I would make little notes saying, which song is finished and which one needs to have something added. So this is just the pattern I use. It doesn't have to be an Excel file. In fact, usually I don't use it. It's just what I have to hand. Oh, this guy, yeah. I think I've listened to this one and already decided I don't want to use it. So I wrote unclocked sine melodies, somewhat repetitive. Not a diss on this patch, it's just it's not going to fit my aesthetic. Sorry, man. This guy is another story. This guy might fit. See lots of drums being programmed. I don't hear a lot of drums. What's going on with this one? Oh, the drums have been muted. Okay. Not sure why that is. Anything else muted here? Okay, not to mess with the timeline or anything, but I'm going to save this one with the drums unmuted and update my archive just so I don't forget again. Wasn't planning to do this today, but here we are. So I call this Minimal Berlin Melody and Dusty Drums. Sounds about right to me. Let's keep on trucking. Okay, this was a good one. But it wasn't made for this album. It was made for its own demo purposes. How about this guy? I think no. Just a bit drony and non-melodical. I also have ruled this one out. Again, I know what I was doing, but I didn't quite get to a musically useful point. Okay, here's the first original rainfall. I didn't do this before, but I'm going to tweak that red knob. Get a little wave wrapping going on. Yeah, it's interesting enough, but I don't think we're going to need this one. I'm going to file it as unlikely. And I just called it sine wave raindrops. It's just, I want to stick in a musical direction here. Even if I say something is ambient like the Templescape, there's a time and a place for that, but it's not a melody all on its own, and it can't sustain a whole track in the sense of being a song, in my totally arbitrary opinion. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to leave this. I don't think this guy's going to make it. Whoa, I don't think this guy's going to make it either. Again, this is great for explanatory purposes, but it ain't music stuff. Ditto for this guy. Wait a minute, did I just lose track of my numbers? There's 30 primitive FM, and this one is labeled as 32, so where the heck is 31? I'll just put a question mark in my sheet. Well, this is another, you know, it's funny. I almost want to, I got to keep putting down the mic so I can type here. I've reevaluated those last two patches. It's not that they're awesome, but they may find a unusual place in the background in some track, even if only briefly as a moment of weirdness. But like this one I'm listening to right now, it's kind of busy, but I can imagine at a slower tempo and with maybe a more relaxed envelope, it might do a good job. So yeah, we've reached 32. This has been patch analysis in preparation for the album. Do not despair. There will definitely be more normal Nord streams coming up. I promise to try and give you a mix of all the different elements. If this has been less interesting to you, I'm sorry about that, but I just want to... I dove into this channel just sort of doing what I do and talking through what I do, and I think I'm going to keep doing that here. I'm going to, as I often say, I'm trusting my gut and just saying this is how I feel about it. This is what I want to do. If your personal inclinations are different to mine, I understand, and that's chill, but part of this is just sort of saying you can do this. You can trust your own approach to make music and not worry about what other people think about it. So yeah, next up, or very soon in this playlist, you will see the next group of 32 patches. Thank you for joining us in the church. Keep on praying.